to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Honey, and today we're going to be deep diving into one of the most read genres of reading, and that would be romance. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Honey? Romance? Really? Are you lonely? Down bad? Do you hate men? And yes, romance does get a bad rep for being too cliche, too cheesy, and even too horny. And there are millions of romance books on the shelves, and it's so hard to pick out a good romance from just a horny one. But today we're gonna fix that. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down some of the most popular romance books and which ones are worth reading. Shall we? So before we get started, what are my credentials? Just like you, in middle school, I binge read the Hunger Games series, and you know, that's what kickstarted it all. As cliche as it is, I think Hunger Games really kickstarted all of our journeys as readers. And you know, Peter Millard just did something for us. He was the blueprint. But in all honesty, last year I read about 30 books, and 16 of them were romance books. And of the 11 that I've read so far this year, 6 of them are already romance books. So you can say that I'm a little bit of an avid romance reader. And don't forget that FOMO is a big reason why I pick up a lot of these books. I'm glad that some of them are actually pretty good. Okay, let's actually get started. Okay, I want to talk some honorable mentions before we get started, and I think that Ali Hazelwood is up there for honorable mentions. Compared to some of the books that I have on this list, she's not the best, most profound romance writer, but I think her writing is a lot of fun. I see her work getting compared a lot to fan fiction, and everyone is totally right. Her writing style is very fan fiction-esque. I think she tackles a lot of STEM topics very well, and I think that's very, very fun. Coming from a STEM major myself, I think all the romantasy books are another good honorable mention. I'm gonna keep fantasy separate from this video just because that's a whole nother can of worms. But if you like fantasy and you like romance, then I'd recommend the Akatars and the Fourth Wings of the world. But we're not gonna deep dive into that. That's a completely separate video for sure. Alright, let's get started for real. So Hunger Games might have kickstarted the official reading era of my life. I kind of fell out of it in high school and university. It wasn't until I picked up this romance book in second year university where I kind of kickstarted that reading habit again. And that book is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. As you can see, this book was well loved. It's got so many tabs in it. It's a little bit broken. I'm so sorry to the book lovers out there. I wrecked this book a little bit. I did not treat it very well, but it is still my pride and joy. I loved this one. This is definitely one of the most popular romance books that I picked up. Definitely a book that blew up on TikTok, on Instagram, on all of the bookish content creating platforms, and honestly for good reason. So The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo follows Evelyn Hugo, and she basically invites this journalist over to her house every so often to kind of do this tell-all, almost memoir about her, because she lived this very glamorous and luxurious life. She was the gag, pretty much, and nobody knows who she ended up with, who was her favorite husband, and all of these things. And I lived for the drama. This was the drama. She was the drama. There's a lot of yearning and frustration with every husband that she had, and by the end of the book, you're just wowed by all of the little decisions that she made when picking a husband, and how your image as a celebrity is portrayed in the media. And it's so interesting, and I really loved this. If you haven't picked it up already, I would definitely recommend this one. I obviously gave 5 stars. So well done. And I definitely want to pick up more Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's been on my TBR for so long, but I don't know why I just haven't been able to pick up her books anymore. But I'm definitely going to make it a mission to do that this year. The next book that I want to talk about is a book that I picked for book club, and I've heard so many cute things about it. As soon as I closed the book, I fell in love with it. I just knew that this was going to be a favorite romance book of mine for a long time, and that is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I think 7 is my favorite number, but this was such a great read. I read a majority of this on the airplane, so I had to be kind of sucked into the world. I really was. The writing was really fun, and the concept was really fun. Essentially, Clementine, our main protagonist, she's moving into her late aunt's apartment, and her aunt always she was kind of Delulu in a sense, where she always told her niece that this apartment's magical and you know, you will fall in love in this apartment. So this apartment is actually magical and can take you back in time 7 years or forward in time 7 years. The technicalities of this magical apartment isn't really explored, but I don't think it needs to necessarily. It's a great story about finding your passions again, grieving, falling in love obviously, and yes, this made me sob. I loved it. It's a little bit of an insta-love moment, and I didn't think that I would like that, but I think it's done in a really, really interesting way. Yeah, this took my breath away, for sure. 7 Year Slip, I gave 5 stars. It was so good. I think you're gonna notice a trend with all these books I picked. They were mostly 4 to 5 stars. So good. This is so good. So the next book that I'm going to talk about is not necessarily like strictly romance book. It's more of a historical fiction, but I think there's enough romance where I think in my head it's more of a romance just because of how devastating it was, how it all wrapped up. And that book is The Song of Achilles. This is another book that blew up on TikTok and BookTok and Bookstagram and Booktube and whatever else. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This broke me in a way that I didn't know I could be broken. But first off, can we just like appreciate this cover? It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful compared to like the usual American one that you see in all the bookstores, like the one with the helmet. I think this is just so gorgeous. This is like a retelling slash reimagining of the Iliad, and it follows Achilles, and I can never say his name. Patroclus? I think it's Patroclus. And we're gonna call him P for the sake of this video. It follows the perspective of P, how he's exiled, and then how he meets Achilles, and then goes into the Trojan War and all of that. I think it's so well done. It's so beautiful, like gut-wrenchingly beautiful. By the end, you will definitely be sobbing your eyes out. It is a little bit of a heavier read, a little bit slower paced. I recommend putting it on the audiobook or reading along like immersive reading, which I've been loving, by the way. Like, it's when you put your headphones in, you listen to the book while you're reading. It's just the best experience ever. But yeah, if you have a hard time getting through slower books, I would definitely recommend putting this on your audiobook just so you can really enjoy it. I remember the first time I picked it up, it was a little bit hard to get through, but I just knew that I would love it, so I picked it up again, and I did. I was right. It was beautiful. It was heartbreakingly beautiful. So when I finished this book, or like when I was at like the last quarter of the book, I was like cleaning my bathroom, and I just had my headphones in, and I was just sobbing, like uncontrollably sobbing. I was ugly crying. This book will make you ugly cry for sure. This is like a 5, almost 6 stars for me. Like, so well done, no notes, amazing. And then a recent read of mine is This Is How You Lose the Time War. This was another book that we read for book club. I give this book 4 stars, but it is one of the most romantic books I've ever read. You go through about 75% of this book confused. And if that doesn't sound like something up your alley, then don't pick this up. But if you're okay with being confused for 75% of this book, it's only like 200 pages, so do with that what you will. But if you can be okay with being confused for 75% of the book, this was beautiful. It's got this kind of like Romeo and Juliet vibe where they're like, you know, lovers that can't be lovers. It's a big time travel book, so that's why it's kind of confusing. If you're like me and you don't really know a lot about history, it can be a little bit confusing, but I think even if you know history, it is still a little bit confusing. But there are a lot of Easter eggs in this book that are really cute. It's very well written. It's beautiful writing. It's a quick read. It's one of the quicker ones compared to the other ones I showed. Like, these are all like 300-400 pages. This is only 200. So if you're looking for like a quicker romance book, this is gorgeous. I can see why somebody wouldn't like this, just because, again, you'd be confused for a majority of the book, and I was confused for a majority of the book. I almost put it down, but because it was a book club read, I ended up powering through. And if you have the willpower to power through, this will be very rewarding, in my opinion. Okay, I'm saving the best for last, and that is my girl, Emily Henry. Emily Henry has got to be my favorite romance author of all time. No one does romance like her. She knows what she's doing. Every book of hers that I've read has been a banger. So I think I've read almost everything on her author discography. I don't know what that's called. Is that like your reader list? Just everything she's written. I don't have People We Meet on Vacation on here, but my friend's borrowing that, so I'm just gonna go through the ones that I do have here. I'm gonna do this in chronological order because why not? You know, why not? I kicked off my Emily Henry journey with Book Lovers. This is one of, I think this might be her most popular book. It's either Book Lovers or Beach Read. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Beach Read did get like a limited edition copy, so maybe that one's more popular. From my end, I've heard more about this book than Beach Read, so I picked it up first. This is like almost like a rivals to lovers trope, small town romance trope, all in one. And she does a lot of cliches in here, but she does it so well because they're like book editors. I forget what their jobs are. What is? She's a literary agent, and then the MMC is a book editor, and so like there's a lot of like bookish cliches in here, but it's done so right. Charlie Lastra, the man you are. Oh my god, I ate this up so fast. I think I read this in like 2-3 days. This was amazing and kickstarted my Emily Henry journey. Like, I wanted to read everything by her almost immediately. I closed the book, I was like, where's the next one? Serve it up right now. So freaking good. Emily Henry has this way of turning romance into almost like literary fiction, and so there's like a good character redemption arc through all of her books, and there's like a good realizations and very relatable moments and very real raw moments as well, and that's what I love about her writing. Emily Henry books are another immersive reading experience that I love because the audiobook kind of reminds me of like that FaceTime that you have with your girlfriends and she's just telling you about her love life. It's just amazing. I love it. I love it. So that's Book Lovers. I gave this one 5 stars almost immediately. So good. Next, I read Beach Read. I found this copy in one of those free little libraries on the street, and I was like, count me the fudge in. This one I didn't love as much as Book Lovers, but I can see why people would like it. This one's about 2 writers, and it's also kind of like small town romance, rivals to lovers. They're both on like a writing block situation, and they're just like trying to inspire each other to write their next big hit. Really interesting concept, but I don't know if I loved the main characters as much as I loved Book Lovers, so I ended up giving this either a 4 or 4.5. I can't remember. Let me check. Let me cross-reference with Goodreads. By the way, if you want to follow me on Goodreads, I'll put the link in the description below. Feel free to add me. I'll try to add everyone back. Let's see here. Beach Read. Oh, I did 4.5 to 5 stars, so I'm gonna say like 4.75 stars. Here, this is what I wrote. The first 3 quarters of the book, I was like, okay, yeah, this is nice, but the last quarter really hit me in the heartstrings. Need to read every book she's ever published ASAP. Look, I feel like that's what I say about every Emily Henry book. The last part about wanting to read every single one of her books, like every time I read one, I'm like, I need to read the next one. I need to read everything she's ever written. So this was really good. The next Emily Henry book that I read that I don't have on me is People We Meet on Vacation. That one's like a childhood friends / friends to lovers situation, and I let my friend borrow it. One of her comments on the book is like, never trust a man with a best friend. Nothing but the honest truth, but if you are the best friend in this case, it's such a great story. And I think for me, like a lot of my past relationships have always been like my best friend. Like we got together because we are best friends, and something about that trope just like hits different in the heartstrings. But that being said, it's not my favorite romance trope just because I live it already, and why am I reading about real life when I can read about something like that would never happen to me, you know, like small town romance. Like, when would that ever happen to me? And I think that's like the beauty of romance books, is like you get to immerse yourself in this world where nothing could go wrong. And if it does go wrong, you know it's gonna be right. You know, all things except, you know what? Except Song of Achilles. Might be minor spoilers, but oh, that book is heart-wrenching. Anyways, People We Meet on Vacation, I ended up giving 4 stars just because, again, friends to lovers, it's cute, but you know, I've seen it in real life, like whatever. Alright, and then the next Emily Henry book is Happy Place, this beautiful hot pink book in all of its glory. Gorgeous. I love all of these covers. Like, I'm kind of sad that I have this one, but like all of these ones are so cute. Them all matching and them having the same spines. Gorgeous. Love it. Love it. I don't know if I want to like switch this one out so that I have it, but whatever. Happy Place. This was my first 6-star read of the year, 2025, and that is for good reason. This has got to be my favorite book that I've ever read. This book follows Harriet and Wynne, who were recently engaged, recently broke up. Does that make sense? They got engaged about, I don't remember how long ago, and about 2 months ago, in the perspective of the book, they broke up. but they didn't tell anybody. Nobody knows except them, and they've just been kind of dealing with it. Every year, them and their friends, their best friends like since university, they always go on a summer trip to one of the friends' like summer house, and it's kind of bittersweet because this is the last time they'll be there. So everyone is kind of on edge a little bit because it's their last summer together, they're all growing up, things are changing fast, and they don't want to lose this little family that they've created. And I think that's so relatable in just day-to-day life. I'm graduating very, very soon, and I think with that comes a lot of change, like moving from being a student into becoming an adult with a real big girl job, and that change can be very scary and overwhelming, and I think this book captures that very beautifully. Not only that, but the romance in this book is a little bit like miscommunication, fake dating. The yearning in this book was oh, I don't even know how to put it to words. For a good chunk of this book, my heart was like out of my chest, and I was just devastated. I was like, these people belong to each other, like they belong together, and they can't be together because they just I'm gonna cry. I might cry. This book made me sob. Like there were so many moments in this book where I was just like, this is too real. This is so real. This is the first book I've ever read, closed the book, and immediately wanted to turn back to page 1 and read it again. Like it was so well done. If you're gonna listen to anything I say in this video, it's read Happy Place. It's gorgeous. It was so good. I might actually pick this up again just because it was just fantastic. Like love. And now I'm currently reading A Funny Story. This is our book club pick for this month, and I'm liking it so far. It's definitely not a happy place, but it's Emily Henry. Like I had no doubt that I wouldn't like this. Characters are like, I'm not connecting to the characters as much as I did with the other books, and I think that's why I'm not liking it as much, but it's a fun story. I think it's very rom-com-y. Like it's giving more early 2000s rom-com than it is giving me an Emily Henry literary fiction romance read, but it's fun. It's a fake dating trope. The funny story is that our main character's ex-fiance is getting together with our male main protagonist's ex-girlfriend, and they're getting married. Yeah. If that doesn't just sound like utter chaos, then I don't know what is. Anyways, there's a lot of moments in this book where I was like, so far, I'm only halfway through, but I'm like, what? No way. This book feels a lot hornier than like these books, but actually Happy Place was kind of horny, but yeah, this is a lot hornier, I think. Very good. These are very good. Alright, those are all my picks for popular romance books. If you have a suggestion for me to read that are kind of similar in vibe to any of these, please let me know in the comments. Be sure to follow my socials. I'll put them in the description and some links over here. If you like this video, please give a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!